Core compression, seated pike leg lifts, isometric and lift-offs. Seated pike leg lifts can be used to develop core strength and improve core compression. Core compression is required for gymnastics movements such as L-sits, press to handstand, pancakes and more. Strengthening the abdominals and the hip flexors is also essential for structural balance. You will need a weight plate and something soft to place on the shins to perform this exercise. Start in a seated position with the legs in front of the body and the inside of the feet pushed together. Adjust the hips so that the pelvis is in a slight anterior pelvic tilt. You want to be sitting on your tailbone with the pelvis tilting forward slightly. From here, you may like to perform some pike pulses to stretch the posterior chain before commencing the exercise. Hamstring mobility will limit the height of the leg lifts, and hence it's a good idea to stretch them first. Place something soft on the shins before placing a weight plate on top of the soft object. Place the hands flat on the floor. The further forward you place the hands, the harder the exercise will be. Twist the hands into the floor towards the pinky fingers. The eye of the elbow pit will be facing forward, and this will help keep the elbows locked. Actively be pushing down into the floor with the hands. This will activate the abdominals and prevent us from leaning backwards. Contract the quads and use the abdominals and hip flexors as you attempt to lift the legs off the floor. The weight plate resting on the legs should prevent the legs from lifting off the floor. This is an isometric contraction. Perform the prescribed number of isometric contractions, holding each rep for the prescribed amount of time. Next, remove the weight from the shins and start to perform leg lifts. Again, the hands are flat on the floor and you are actively pushing down into the floor as you draw the belly button in and upwards to activate the hip flexors and lift the legs as high as possible. Do not allow the torso to lean back. This is cheating. Keep the chest up and continue to push the hands down into the floor as you lift the legs. The seated pike leg lifts can be performed for repetitions, for isometric holds, or a combination of the two.